And good morning, everyone, for another morning coffee with Marcaida on a Monday. And how's everybody doing on this this Monday? As I got early start this morning to do some stuff down here at the shop. Not really my shop, it's my father-in-law's, but he allows me now to start using it in my sharpening practices. So I'm grateful for that, to be able to reuse something and put my spin on it. And that's a little bit of what we're going to be talking about today. But first up, good morning with this morning cup of coffee. And how's everybody doing today on this Monday? I hope you all had a safe weekend. And today, we want to start off with gratitude always, right? Thankful that our weekend was fine. Thankful that we made it through. Thankful that we have a roof on our heads, everything else, and those who are struggling with the hurricane and the results of that. Thankful that some of them are fine and our friends are fine and they'll get through it too. We're all there to support them. And that's one of the things. If we start off with gratitude, everything else is going to be icing on the cake. So for today's talk, I'm going to draw again from my martial art background, right? The Kali mind. In Filipino martial arts, the difference between that and other martial arts is we start off with weapons. You start off with swords, with sticks, with rattan sticks, with impact weapons, with flexible weapons. In the beginning, when you're looking at these things, each particular one is a subsystem, meaning, here's the double stick technique, double stick system, single stick system, sword and knife system, swords, double swords, so many things that you think about. Wow, there's so much. But when you really think about it, a lot of the training is about finding the metaphors, to be able to see beyond normal perception. Normal perception, be able to see that. And that's very hard to do if you're not in the mode of seeing more than what else is being presented to you. And that makes a difference. So, how do we train that? Well, in Filipino martial arts school, do you see the knife there? Oh, no, it's an impact thing. But do you see how you would use the same thing like you would use a knife, right? Well, same thing. We would know where the edge is when you're training with this, right? So, holding it like a stick, knowing there's an edge, that's it. But this is not sharp, so it's impact. This is no different than an impact of a stick. But the metaphor is I'm holding that. But if I have the index that with my knuckles, I know that's where the edge would be. So the metaphor, do you see the knife in that? Oh, okay. Do you see the knife in a reverse edge of that? Like, is there another knife hidden in the reverse edge? Like, for example, here. So if I'm training with this and I'm slashing or hitting with the blade over there, it's the same idea when I'm using this, foregoing the idea of that. It's in there. Do you see the karambit in there? Karambit means to hook. Oh, it's a matter of seeing more than what is past beyond normal perception, to see that. And that's the learning curve, to know the same actions would work with everything else, because who really walks around with weapons? Well, in the old days you could. Some societies and some culture actually wear them as, their identity. It's a status symbol to have certain weapons around them. Some cultures, but not all cultures. In the West, it's very hard to brandish weapons as they're looked upon. So how then does that training transcend into everyday things? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about this morning, is how we're going to find these lessons to see beyond normal perception from a Kali point of view, then from a different Kali point of view. Meaning, how can these be metaphors to make my learning curve in my brain make sense of it all? Because the lessons are all in front of us. Let's begin. I got a bigger one here. This is a spoon. Obviously a big spoon. Can the spoon, when I see it, do you see the stick in the use of that? Do you see the impact with that? Do you see how I can shield with that? Do you see it in the reverse? Even I can protect my hand if I'm using with that. Or I can scoop stuff and launch it like a catapult. That's the Kali mindset of using an everyday item into something to defend yourself. But what else do I see beyond normal perception, beyond the actual combat use of it? Well, I see something that gives me something that I can receive. I can feed myself. I see something that reminds me that I can also give to others. It's a support system that I can receive and I can give. So looking at that lesson that a spoon can give me, it's actually telling me not just for the defense, but it's also something that I need to work on in terms of giving and receiving. And the support system that can be me, this can be me putting knowledge that I can share with others, that I can receive and give away. Those are the metaphors that Kali mindset tries to teach you beyond normal perception. Another one, the umbrella. Actually, in Filipino martial arts, we have a movement called payong. Payong means umbrella. That's when you see they go around the head. You see, if I go in around the full circle, how this whole thing is actually an umbrella to protect me. An umbrella shields you from things. An umbrella can also be a strike and shield as I'm protecting, as I'm going around. That's why. Or it could be that I'm redirecting the strike from a different angle. Those are the umbrellas of Filipino martial arts. Now, in everyday use, I actually have an umbrella. I can do the same motion, obviously, because it's an impact weapon that I can use. It's straightforward for impact. But what are the life lessons of a metaphor of an umbrella? Well, umbrellas shield us from the rain. It shields us from all the elements that are out there. What in your life do you have shield you? It's a barrier that I can put in front of me to protect myself. And when I look at that, I think of the things that I have in my life that shield me from outside influences, negative thoughts, insults, things that mess with my mental health. To me, what am I using as a metaphor of an umbrella? Is it prayer to my Creator? Is it the love I have is it communication? Is it educating myself on how to be a better person in society? Is that how I'm going to protect myself and shield myself? Or is it keeping away and not putting myself in situations that bad things can happen? I'm just not there. If you are shielding and protecting yourself with an umbrella, you can do the same thing with that metaphor, finding what in your life shields you from the elements. Not just a house, an umbrella from all the physical activity, but also mentally. What do you do to shield you from all the anguish and misery and anger that is from the outside that can influence your thoughts and your own mental health and your own peace of mind? That's one of the ideas. Now, let's talk about bags. Obviously, this one has a handle, so I can protect it. It's something that I can use. I can use to strike. It's got weight. I can use this to strike and everything, to hit and use it as a shield as well as an impact weapon. But the bag also shows me preparedness. I'm always prepared. I'm always able to pick things up and carry with me. And having that bag, having the idea of a bag to carry around you, is that you have the ability to carry large loads. You have the ability, symbolized by the bag, to carry the pain that this world has to give to you, to carry somebody else's pain, to carry somebody else's load. You have that ability. The bag teaches you that we can receive and carry loads for others as much as we can carry the loads of ourselves. And we have the strength to carry that bag with us. And we can always pick up the bag and leave it behind. Sometimes the metaphor of, this is so heavy and I'm carrying all my issues with me that I can't go forward. And the simple answer is, drop it and keep moving forward. The lessons are right there for us to see. But do we see beyond normal perception? Do you see how the Kali mind, how I've actually used that to help me better myself? But in the first parts of my Kali training, it was all about defense, offense as defense, and how to use things as a weapon. But now I'm trying to see the parallels opposite of that. What's the opposite of that? The pen. They say it's mightier than the sword, right? But what does this pen symbolize? Obviously, it's no different than having, let's see, I don't want to pull the weapons, I'm going to leave it there. I can thrust with it, I can hook with it, I can control, I can do so many things, but I can also write with it. Oh, is that really what it's made for? I can write with a pen. The idea and the beauty of the pen is that in as much as it can be used defensively, it's also something that allows me to create, to draw my ideas, to put my ideas on paper, to remind me if I write about my history, my friends, and everything else, I can see it on paper. It helps me do that. Put my ideas, make it happen by drawings and put. It's a great communication tool. Maybe I can't talk. Maybe I'm too shy to see somebody eye to eye and communicate. But the pen allows you that, allows you the anonymity of writing it on paper. that I don't have, but I can communicate how I feel. A magical thing as simple as that allows us to put our thoughts on paper, to put our thoughts written down forever, that they can be written out there, that we can leave that behind as a legacy. But it's also a great tool to communicate, to let people know how much we love them or how much they mean to us. This little thing, this simple thing, allows us to let the soul speak through you into pen and into paper. The pen is amazing. It's mightier than the sword for those very reasons. And as you can see, we also have what as well. We got, all right, a towel, simple towel or a blanket or a scarf. Now in combat, obviously, I can whip with it. I can whip, I can slash with it. I can put impact with my fist. I can wrap around, I can choke. I can protect myself if taught enough. I can guide things away from that. I can smack with it. I can wrap around and put weapons with it. There's your weapon, right? But it's also reminding me that it also warms me. It also protects me. Not only if I'm going to combat, wrap my arms around because I'm going to hit combat with that, but it also is soothing, protects me from the heat, the wet, dries me out. It's enveloping me. That ability that I have things and family out there that will love me, that will protect me, that will warm me, that will give me all these other things that something like this, a blanket, a scarf, a towel can do. These are the metaphors now that I start to see when I look at the implements created for one reason alone. Weapons of history. Weapons are meant to take lives. But then that is why I came up with kill. It's not really a bad thing if you use it for the right reasons. It's not about how many you hurt with those, it's about how many you protect. So these are the things that I look at, something that's so destructive, but it also is something that builds, and it can build things within you. I had a lot of fun this morning just looking at these things and thinking, what am I going to talk about this morning? But you know what? Let's talk about all these different metaphors, because Kali is about using your mind and to see beyond normal perception. And if you open your eyes and you have the looking glass and people just mention to you, think of it this way, all of a sudden, the lessons are all around you. It's a matter for you to put the glasses on and see it from that point of view and that different perspective. Doug Marcaida here with the Morning Cup of Joe. What do you think about that? Go ahead and leave in the comments here. We'll talk about it more. Have a great day, folks.